Hey, everybody. It is Rona with Road Trip to Wellness. And I am super excited about today's podcast episode. I'm going to be honest because I said this was a year of me being vulnerable and really just sharing. And I don't share a lot about what I'm going through, how I feel. And I think a lot of people on social media, I shouldn't say a lot, not everybody is doing it. But you know what I'm saying? Some people show you the beautiful things that are happening in their lives. But they don't really show what they're going through, if things are going bad, if things are all around that maybe they're not feeling good. And I've shared a little bit here and there, but I try to be pretty private these days. But I must share these days, I have been studying a lot because I graduate from my spiritual wellness certification in April. And so your girl got a little behind and now she's getting caught up. And I mean, I am stepping on the gas like really, really hard. So if you have not heard from me, I am very sorry. Please don't take it personal. But woo, let me tell you, it's been a feat with trying to graduate while also I had started my business in 2019, 2020. So I have a lot going on, and it is not always easy to get on this podcast and talk to you guys. It's not always easy to put out social media content. Sometimes it's just hard to get up in the morning, like if I'm truly being honest, because I've had some heavy days. And so some of my heavy days lately have been around manifestation. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. And I'm working really hard. And when you think you're doing everything right, and I do believe I'm doing everything right. But for some reason, I feel like what I want to happen for myself, for my life, for my finances, for whatever, it's just not coming into fruition. And I'm praying. Y'all have heard before, I do a little juju here and there. I follow some people where we just do some things here and there, to bring the things that I need into my life. But for whatever reason, and this may be happening to you guys too, it's just not happening, or you just can't see it yet, maybe. Or you feel like you can't see it at all and that you don't see that it's coming at all. And so I know I'm not the only one where that's been a hard pill to swallow, because I'm sitting here like, God, like y'all, I'm talking to ancestors, I'm talking to spirit guides, I'm talking to angels. I'm like, hello. I hear this big echo out in this, or that's what I feel like. Like nobody is responding. I'm like, God, please help me, And so I have a friend who is in my head, I said a couple of cuss words before I said manifestor. She is a motherfucking Master Manifestor. And this is my friend Tionda. Hey, say hey to everybody, Tionda.
Hey.
She's going to be on with us today, and she's going to be talking to us just about some of her manifestation techniques, because I know I cannot be the only one. And y'all, I promise you, I get up some mornings, I get a ping on my phone, ping. I just manifested a window seat on the plane. I'm like, this lady, like, seriously, like, are you serious? Like, and Tionda, and you're going to share this with us in a little bit, but we were just talking too, that I am just struggling with, like I said, I'm asking for things and I feel like I'm asking in the right way. I don't know if I'm asking the wrong way. Like, I don't know what's going on. And so I wanted to bring Tionda in because really I have seen her evolution. Maybe I didn't notice it about you when we first met, Tionda, that you were maybe already manifesting. I don't know. But I've just noticed within the last couple years, she's a changed person from what I knew before. But now just seeing, she wants it. She's a go-getter anyways. But like for real, when she sees it, or if she wants to go, y'all, she told somebody, I'm gonna give you an example. We were working and they told this lady was ready to go on this trip. She didn't already plan the trip. I think it was Germany you were going to or something. why has she not even asked our boss if she could be off work to go? And so our boss said, well, you don't even have that time off yet. You know what she said to them? I'm going. I don't know about the time off part, but I'm going. So whatever y'all got to do what you got to do. But I am going on that trip. I was like, this way. It was amazing. And so I'm going to stop talking. Thank y'all for being here again. But again, we are talking about manifestation today with my friend, Tionda. Tionda, go ahead and introduce yourself and just give us a little bit of background on you, friend, please.
Okay. Well, hello, everyone. A little bit of background on me. I don't even know what to share. Okay. I'm a wife, a mother, a grandmother. Let's see. I don't know what to share. A manifestor. That's what I am.
Yes.
I'm living my best life. I've kind of crossed over 50. I'm heading towards 52. And I have just in the past couple of years really been honing in on the things that I want, where I want to be in life, and really going after it. So I'm a person. I am an entrepreneur as well. I have Press Pause. It's a whole movement of empowering women to just stop and rest, reconnect, and restart again. I don't think we give ourselves enough permission to do that. And that's just always crazy to me that somehow I have to get permission. I have to encourage others. I have to be encouraged just to stop and rest in myself and reconnect with me. So
I love that. Love. Thanks for sharing. So I know Tionda through work. We used to work together and just became fast friends, great friends. And we have both since left that job, but still remained amazing friends. And she has just come to be just, like I said, just an amazing support, an amazing friend. And I've just kind of witnessed, over the last few years of knowing her, just watching her go from and I don't know if I can, I'm sure you'll agree with this, Tionda, but just going from just being, like you said, a wife and a mother, but really coming into, you heard her say, I'm living my best life. And so would you say you have always felt like that? Like you were living your best life aside from being a wife and a mother?
No, I would not say that. I tell this story all the time. When I was probably in my early 40s, my son was graduating from high school, and one night we were sitting up talking, and he asked me, what did I want to be when I grew up? And I was telling him, like, I wanted to be a fashion designer. I wanted to travel the world. And I was going to live in Paris and Milan. I was going to do all these things. And he asked me why. Why hadn't I done those things?
Oh,
and
wow.
I said, I didn't know. I just I just was stumped by the question. And he followed up with, because all you've been is a wife and a mother. Whoa. So I know. So it hit me so hard that night. Like I could barely, how somebody hits you so hard that and yes. It knocks you can't breathe, you can't speak, you can't think. That's how hard it hit me. That I excused myself and said, I'm going to bed now, I'm tired. And I literally cried myself to sleep.
Oh my gosh.
Reason, yes, I did. He says, and I always tell him, I tease him now that, you made me cry. He says, I don't even remember that day. He doesn't even remember saying it, but it was you've only been. You've only been a wife and you've only been a mother. Like I took it two ways. There was so much more that I had to offer. And then my cousin said to me, but don't beat yourself up because you've done great things as a wife and a mother. So don't look at it like those are horrible accomplishments, because they're not. But then I also thought, had my son been my daughter, what had I taught my daughter?
Wow.
I would have taught my daughter how to settle, because as a man, he's going to be afforded opportunities and people are going to open doors just cause. But if he was my daughter would be thinking, well, so I graduate high school and then what? I just become somebody's wife and I just have children. And I was like, and I would be furious at my daughter for that. So why am I not furious with me? So at that moment is when I changed, is when I woke up and I said, I literally came down the stairs and I looked at everybody and said, so things are about to change. I'm about to do what I want to do when I want to do it, how I want to do it. And it was the kickoff. Now, even though I said those words, I didn't quite do them.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to put myself out there. I started, because fashion was my goal as a kid, I started doing fashion shows and working behind the scenes and just getting immersed in that kind of industry. And then when I was like, okay, well, I'm not really feeling that. If something else kind of hit me and made me happy, okay, I'm gonna go along that happy road. So I was following things that excited me, just so I could figure out where I needed to be or what was next for me. But I want to go back a moment and say, when I first met you and we were talking more than friends, and I always say this to you, you are that cousin that I would hang out with and get you in trouble. That's how close we are. It's like, that's that cousin that you're like, oh, she's about to show up and we about to have a good time and we're about to get in trouble. So, and I always welcomed your friendship. I knew it the minute that we were in each other's space that we was gonna be that too. Come shut the door, we gonna act up. So I always appreciate your friendship so much, and the love that you show me and give me all the time. And then the thing about the working there and that trip, I'm gonna even take it back to, I didn't even have money to go on that trip. When I booked that trip, I didn't have money. I didn't book it on my credit card. I booked it on my husband's credit card while he was in the bed. And he was like, we can't afford to do that. And I thought, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care that I can't afford to do it. I don't care. I don't know where the money is coming from. Like, I don't even know how this is going to work. I ain't been out the country like that. Like, I haven't been afforded those kind of opportunities. This is a dream. And so somebody is telling me that I'm going to Paris, that I'm going to Germany. I'm not going to let several $100s be in the way of that. And literally, I was not making a lot of money at the Urban League. I had hella bills to pay, but I really did not think about anything. I booked that ticket. And when they said, you weren't given the time yet, I don't care. Literally, those were my words. I don't care. And I did not care.
You did not care. You did not care.
To the point that if they would have said, you don't have a job when you come back, I would have said, thank you. Go on and figure out what I get back. But it's funny because I have always been manifesting things since I was a kid and didn't know it.
Oh, yes. You did tell me this story before you would go to sleep.
When I was a kid, I would tell my cousin all the time, this is what I'm going to dream about tonight. What? Now, what kind of 7-8-year-old says that?
I love that though.
And I would think about it all day. I would, in my mind, get this dream going. And this is what I'm going to dream about. This is what I'm going to dream about. And then I would dream about it. And so I was manifesting as a kid and I didn't even know it. You
would say, this is what I'm going to dream about tonight, and then think it all day long. Just think on the things I'm going to sleep on tonight.
Mm-hmm.
That right there, y'all, you should have written that down. Because really, that is the definition, basically, of manifestation. Those are the key principles of like the law of attraction. As a kid, as a 7-8-year-old kid, she's using her imagination. and just saying. But I love the fact that you didn't leave it at, this is what I'm going to dream about tonight. And you told your cousin that, and boom, that was done. No, you were setting it up in your head.
Yep.
You setting up the dream. So you dreaming about the dream.
Yes. So I would say that all the time. Well, this is what I'm gonna dream about. And if it was like about a house or I don't know what it could be, anything, I would just think about it all day. Oh yeah, I'm gonna dream about that house. I'm gonna dream about that house. I'm gonna dream about that house. And then I would dream about that house. And I would do that. And I thought it was a game. And I never told like the adults, because how do you tell adults, hey, I'm going to think of something and then dream about it and then really dream about it? They'd be like, what's wrong with her? We need to lay hands on her. We need to do something with her. I don't know what might happen. I don't know how shocked somebody in my family, my grandmother might have felt behind that. So I kept it to myself, except for my cousin. I would share it with her. But I would just think of it, and it was a game to me. How many times could I do it and it really happened? How focused could I be? And I'm thinking, when I think back on that now, as I'm saying to myself, this is what I'm going to dream about, and then all day I'm thinking about that dream, I'm vibrating. So that's that whole vibration thing. Mm-hmm. I still don't understand that as a kid, but I always hear about vibrating too high and too low. So I always count that for him. If I vibrate too high, I'm annoying God, because he's like, listen, you didn't ask me this already. Stop asking me. Or vibrate too low, where I don't believe he's going to do it. But as a 7-8-year-old who has no idea what she's doing, I'm vibrating at the right level because I'm believing it. And I'm believing it so that I'm just like, I'm thinking and operating like it already happened. Because when I think about whatever I'm going to dream about, I'm coming from a place that makes me smile, like it's going to happen. Like I don't believe that it's not going to happen.
This makes me think of, because I do tarot card pulls and things like that, just daily ones, and it comes up, or you just get a thought like your inner child, or, those types of things that you hear people saying. And what I'm hearing you say is, like you said, it was a game for you. And you were a kid. Nobody could tell you that you wasn't here to get that house when you were just doing it and believing without a shadow of a doubt that it was going to happen. And I'm about to get that house when I get it. All of those. It's just amazing how you're saying that it's lining up. And I feel like as adults, and I know I am guilty of this, which is what I was just talking to you about, like my manifestations are not happening, because I love the fact that you said, it was just making me smile. Like, I'm just having fun with it. Like, I don't know if it's going to happen. I think I'm believing it's going to happen because I'm a kid, so I just love just the childlike wonder that you were using, like you said, without even knowing it, and you're still doing it today. That is absolutely incredible to me.
Now, it has not been without challenge, because there is, I was talking to my neighbor, and at one time I was complaining about, like, I wanted to move, I wanted to go, I wanted to make more money and all these things. And my neighbor said to me, and here's where I was vibrating too high, because I wasn't trusting God for it. I was asking for these things, and God, you're not delivering them, because I've asked you in this way. I need this, 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 this. And she said to me, she said, I don't think you really believe it, or you don't even know what you're asking for. She said, so you really need to get quiet and think about what it is. But she said, you don't even act like you already have it. So the things I learned as a kid that I somehow had put away, that I hadn't tapped back into the believing and knowing that it was going to show up, I had somehow put that away as an adult. I had got to this place where it was like, well, I know disappointment and I know it well. So I'm going to already put that, that barrier on there, that the restriction on there, those exceptions on there, God, if you do this, but I understand this, and that but behind there. And she told me, she also told me, get happy where you're at.
Ain't that it?
She said, get happy where you're at. She said, how can you get anything else if you're not even happy where you're at? Show God that you're happy where you're at. True story. Urban League. Even before I got that job, I prayed and manifested the coworkers. I
Oh,
wrote it down because I said, I want a family-like environment.
well, you know, we heard
A
that all
bo-
the
a boss that was supportive and listened, and she was in the beginning.
time.
I wanted coworkers who were more than coworkers. Like I said, like you, we hanging out, being cousins. I prayed for a George and a Reyes. I said, I want me a fabulous couple of coworkers that I can
Yes,
hang
Auntie, you
with,
got
and they
those.
was, and to get a nickname at work. Like I really wanted to belong and feel like I was serving the community. I prayed literally for that job.
Oh my gosh, that's
For
amazing.
that, yeah. The job I had right before that, and I was like, oh no, the next one is going to be this, this, this. And so when it showed up, I knew these were the things that I had wrote down and believed I was going to get pictured in my mind, the people that I would be around, their energy, not so much what they look like, but their energy, and what I was going to connect with. So but I've been doing this since I was a kid, on and off. I never thought about it when I was young. And now the older I get, now I'm getting more better and getting more in tuned with it, and paying more attention to when I'm manifesting and I'm doing it too high or I'm doing it too low, what I'm asking for, sometimes how I'm asking for it. I have manifested some really great things, like window seats. I will write it in my journal. Tomorrow I'm going to be at the window seat on this plane. I don't know how. And then I get on the plane and the lady is like, we need volunteers to move up. And I raise my hand, and then I'm business class with a window seat and leg room. And I'm like, well, what? I said, I just said this last night when I knew what my boarding looked like. I was like, okay, can I get a window seat? And my sister's like, well, why don't you just pay for a window seat? Why? When I could just ask and it's free.
Ain't that it? Yeah.
Then again, it's still like a game to me.
Yeah.
When I approach it like that. And there are times when I don't get a window seat, and I'm like, okay, so there's no window seat here. That's all right. Not this time. Maybe I didn't vibrate enough for it, or maybe, I don't know. Maybe he just saw fit that you'll need a window seat today.
Yes.
Maybe somebody who they needed the window seat. Their manifestation was much better than mine. I always like to say it like that. Somebody else was manifesting real hard and needed the seat more so than I did. But I love it now. It's like I said, it is such a game to me. I look forward to thinking about the things that that I want to attract in my life. I enjoy writing them down. You and I have talked about different ways of manifestation. And the last one I did was it's the 369, where you write it down 3 times.
Talk a little bit about some of the manifestation techniques, because you're always experimenting with new and different things. I know you journal a lot too, so I know that has a lot to do with that for you as well. So can you share some of those little things, like your journaling, how that goes along with your manifestation, and then just some of your favorite manifestation techniques that you've used?
So my day starts off with journaling, yoga, prayer. And when it's time for me to do the journaling part, I do a meditation and I set the intention for the day. This is how I want my day to look. And I've even encountered a conversation on YouTube that someone was talking about, not just looking at the whole day, but even taking it in segments. So I'll write down how I want the day to go. But then there are times when I just kind of stop and go, okay, well, I know I have a meeting at noon, so let me kind of manifest how I want that meeting to go. Or I have, a luncheon later, or this event later. So I'm taking it parts of the day and breaking them up and having my own mental manifestation conversation going on throughout the day. So it's not just the whole big picture. And I used to just do the whole big picture. Vision boards are great manifestation techniques that I love. I've done vision boards in the past, and then I had stopped doing them. And so here, well, another great story. There was this lady I follow on LinkedIn, and she had wrote this book, this journal book, and she was going to be giving it away. But you had to join in her Facebook Live vision board party. And that was a day I had scheduled to work at the Urban League on a Saturday. So the night before, I got up because I told my husband, I said, I'm going to win that book. I'm going to win it. And of course, anytime I say stuff like, he just, yeah, you probably will, because you're hell bent on making sure you get what you want. So the night before, I knew I couldn't actually do the vision board party because I'm going to go to work. So I did the vision board at home. And then I logged in while I was at work on her Facebook Live and was a part of the conversation. And then she said to go into the drawing, you had to like it on, you had to do something on LinkedIn, do something on Facebook, and email her something and post a picture of the vision board. Now, mind you, my vision board was done the night before because I knew I wasn't going to be able to do it while they were doing it. So I did all that, and they were going to announce the winner the next day on that Sunday about noon. And I'm going to win that book. I'm going to win that book. And we're in Walmart at noon. And I go, I don't see anything on Facebook. There's no email from her. There's no nothing. And he's like, well, maybe you didn't win. No. I know I won that book. I know I won that book. She's just late with it. She's late with reaching out. No big deal. I know I won that book. The next day, she emailed me and said, you won the book. Stop. Now, this is the same year that I went to that trip. And I kept going. So she's like, I'm going to mail it out. Book ain't there, because I wanted to take it with me when I went on my trip. Book ain't there, book. But I kept saying to myself, I know when I get back from this trip, that book is going to be in my mailbox. And I'm going to start my year off with this planner, manifesting great things. And of course, there when I get home.
Wow.
But I believe that day before, when I put that vision board together, that book was already mine. That book was mine. Honey, you giving me that book. I don't even know why these other people are showing up at this Facebook Live, because the book is mine. Right. The 369 method I just recently stumbled upon is where you write something 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, and 9 times at night. And I do that. I don't do it on a regular basis. And I want to get back to doing that because sometimes life happens and I don't feel like getting up, and I don't feel like journaling, and I don't feel like manifesting, and I don't care how I'm vibrating. I get in those little moods and have to talk myself out of them and work through them. But I really like that one, because I'm a writer and I like to journal. So it just all goes hand in hand for me. And then my when I would write, it would be really long. And I was like, I don't even like to read something this long. Why am I giving God this long? He's like, really? Did I need all the details?
Oh, right.
What right. You want? What you want? God talks to me like I talk to my kids. What? I don't need all that 10 words. You could have said it in 3. You want a cookie? Got it. So I had to start shortening things, and being, sometimes I'm too specific, and then sometimes I'm not specific enough, I think. But I don't think that there's a right or wrong way to do things. I don't think that there's one way of doing things. I think it was whatever works for you. Yeah. And whatever, and what brings you joy. Like, you have to enjoy doing it, whatever method you're going to use. So I always think it's personal.
I love that. I love it.
But I remember this year, well, not this year, last year, a close friend of mine, she found this vision board book, manifestation book, and a self-care book. And so she said, saw this thought of you, going to gift it to you. So she mailed it to me. And in the manifestation book, it asks you these questions every day. And it's for people who who don't like to journal, I always tell them, do what you can do. If you can't do it
Yeah.
every day, then don't. I mean, because that's just not who you are. I love to write, so I can do something like this every day, and it's guided, so it works for me. But it would ask me, it says, how was, oh, that's the weekly one. So the daily one you'd have to give things you were grateful for, because again, I believe manifestation comes from being grateful and already operating like you already have it and being happy in that moment. How can I be grateful? If I'm not grateful for what I have now, how can I keep asking God for more? Because I haven't shown him that I'm already grateful. But it would be, what is your manifestation focus for today? Why is it important? And how would you feel when you manifest this? And then it would have you write down, write a paragraph or two about your day as if the manifestation already happened. That whole visualize seeing yourself. And I think as a kid, when I think about those dreams, that's why it would work, because I would see myself dreaming about whatever it was I wanted to dream about. I said it, and then I thought about it. I put myself in there. I would close my eyes and like, I'm walking in this house, and I would dream about this house, and I'm wearing this and I'm wearing that. And I could see it, and I could start to feel it. And so it was real for me. Wow. And that's why at night, then I would dream it. And it was like, yeah, it all came together. So having to do that every single day also made me more aware of my day and be more present for my day too. Because it's so easy for me to get in the day and just be thinking hours down, what I got to do when I get off work next week, what I got tomorrow, and not fully being present in the day. So this journal really helped me. But in the beginning, when they talked about, they would ask you to do activities to manifest, it was like something simple. So mine was a yellow car.
Yes.
And they said, don't be so rigid that you only think you're going to see the yellow car like driving down the street. You can see it on TV or in a magazine. Got to be really open to how it shows up. So I was manifesting that yellow car, and that yellow car was not showing up. And I was like, now what? I know I can do this. And then I'm driving down the street, and what goes past but a yellow car? So this is almost like a whole week later. And I'm doubting my whole manifestation. But I kept doing it every single day. Every day I wrote, I want to see a yellow car every single day. And I was looking hard, never showing up. Almost a week later, I'm driving down the street. A yellow car passes me. Now, this is how crazy I am. I start following the yellow car. I don't know why. I'm going somewhere for work, but I'm so excited. Like I had never seen following. Like I start following the yellow car, and I'm like, "Are you crazy? You gotta go to work." But I'm so excited for the yellow car. I love that. And if you were in the car with me, you would be like, "Why is she screaming? It's a yellow car! It's a yellow car! It's a yellow car! It's a yellow car!" Like I'm going crazy on this yellow car, and then I start following it. Till I had to talk myself a couple of X's up.
That's the best. Like stop following the car.
Like you didn't, like you don't know where he's going. Like it's really.
What do you think got you? It took a week, but what do you think got that yellow or brought that yellow car there that day? What was the flow that were you in a specific kind of flow for the day, or?
I think at the moment I wasn't even thinking that I would see it. Like I would say it every day. But I think I had really kind of just let my guard down about it and quit focusing on the yellow car. Like I had probably said it hours earlier, wrote it in the book, and this is like, whatever. It's a whole week. I ain't asked for this yellow car. I ain't seen one in the neighborhood. I ain't seen it. I ain't what. But after that, I kept saying, there's a yellow car in my neighborhood. I said, well, how did I miss that?
How did I miss that?
Because I have to drive past these people's house, and they have a yellow car, and not focused, not present, not aware.
And that's what you were saying. It has made you more focused and present and aware in your day.
Yep.
Incredible. I love that, Tionda.
Yep.
That is so amazing. Any other techniques that you use or that are your favorite?
I would just say that just the whole journaling itself
Yeah.
Um,
You're working on a journal yourself, aren't you?
I am working on just a regular blank journal and then a guided journal, because I know that everybody doesn't like to free write, a freestyle write, and some people don't like to be told what to write. And that just cracks me up both because I'm a writer, so it never matters to me.
Yeah.
Um, and again, I always tell people, just like with manifestation, there's no right or wrong way to do journaling. It's what's ever comfortable for you. There's no, you don't have to do it every day. You do it when it works, when it benefits you, or when it works for you, or when it hits you. It's a personal thing. So
Yeah.
But so I would say writing it down, and the vision boards. Vision boards for me, and you and I did one, I think even after that year that I did that one before I went on that trip. And to go back and look at it and see that I could cross off 80% of what was on that board. And again, when I put the things on the board, just like when I write them down, just like when I think about them, I don't think about the how. I don't know how it's going to show up. I don't know when it's going to show up. I'm just trusting and believing that it is. So when I was putting pictures on my vision board, they were things that when I would look at an image, it had to resonate with me. It had to bring me some kind of joy or evoke some kind of emotion in me that I felt compelled to put it on the paper. And then I made more than one copy so that I had to look at it all the time. It was my screensaver. It was on my desk at work. It was on my desk at home. It was even my profile picture on my social media.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be everywhere. And when I looked at it, I didn't look at it in a way with a magnifying glass going, okay, have I done this thing right here? Have I gotten this? I just put those pictures on there, and then the door would start to open. I put on that vision board, I wanted my SHRM license. Like, I just wanted
That was
it.
my
I
most
didn't know.
successful year of manifestation when we did that vision board. It was a great year. I feel like was that 2019?
It was 2018. Yeah, 2019.
And I remember we did several copies. I did a digital one of that one, and then I did a paper one. And I took the digital one that I did on Canva, and I put it right up my phone in my office. I put it right up above my phone. So every time we're on the phone all day, you know what I'm saying? I'm in my office, or if I got frustrated, I'd look at that damn vision board and be like, girl, don't even worry. And when I tell you I manifested my way up out that joint, I manifested my entrepreneur lifestyle. Like, my yoga certification got completed that year in 2019. By the end of 2019, I was done with that. Like, that was a huge, that was when I thought, and I've never been a person to do, I've done vision boards here and there, but I wouldn't finish them, stuff like that. This was the year when I actually did it. And like you said, I put it as my phone screensaver. I put it up above my phone. I had it in my bedroom. So everywhere I went, like you said, it was always in my face as a reminder. It was always there as a reminder. And
even when I'm not really looking at it, like I could see it, but I might not even, sometimes I would just be looking past it, looking through it. I wasn't even focused. That was the year. That was the year, because it was so many doors opened up, so many things happened from that vision board that now I have to pull mine back out again because I still have it. It was just scary when I last counted. I had done 80% of what I think the only thing I had not done on there was move to Phoenix, but I had went to Phoenix.
Yeah.
The only thing I had not done was move. Like I got my SHRM license and somebody else paid for it. Again, I did not know how things were going to happen. I just knew that they were.
I love it. I love it. Well, what are you working on manifesting these days, girl?
Oh, what has been, well, it's funny when you talk about asking for something and it has not shown up. And so I've been manifesting the planners, and they have not shown up in the way that I wanted them to. And so I've looked through my book, and I see it written in here everywhere. And I was asking myself, okay, we need to sit down and really look at this again, Tionda, because that's what I do. Talk to me and say, okay, how are we asking? And then are we really believing it? Because I wonder if there is a part of me that isn't believing it. Yeah. And so I've got to sit back and figure out where the blockage is. If there's something I'm missing.
Yeah.
And maybe it's my ask. Maybe it just isn't the right thing. I don't know yet.
I love the reflection piece, though, that you're just saying you have to sit down and say, what is happening? Like, you have to review and figure it out. Like, this isn't working, so maybe I take this out. This is working, so maybe I keep this. Yeah, I love it.
And what is God telling me? He's probably talking to me about it, and I'm not listening because I'm so thinking it should be a certain way. And he's like, okay, I keep telling you something else and you're not listening. So he's so patient. He's waiting.
How do you feel like you hear and you know what you're supposed to do for the next steps in your manifestation?
Oh, that is a good one. I don't. I am just a foolish child that's just like, okay.
Just out here doing stuff.
I'm just out here. Really. Because it feels good.
Yes.
Because I think it's just, I'm really getting into my energy, other people's energy. And I think I've always been this way. I just didn't know how to articulate it. Because again, I'm just pretty sure that me growing up the way I did and raised in the projects, going home to a Black grandmother talking about, I'm just out here manifesting and vibrating. And she would be like, you what? You doing what? Oh, we don't be bringing all that up in here.
We don't do that here.
We don't do that. In fact, I don't even know what it is. But
so we're not doing it.
So we're not doing it.
Yes.
And it's probably something that she was already doing, because I think we do it and we just don't know what it is. Like I said, what kind of 7, 8-year-old is telling her cousin, girl, I'm about to dream about all these things tonight. And it's a good thing that she didn't go, she crazy and I'm going to go tell.
What did your cousin say though? What did she say?
Nothing. She just looked at me, and because of the kind of kid that I was, she was probably thinking, well, if anybody could do that, it would be her. Like, it didn't sound weird to her coming out of my mouth.
Right.
She would just be like, that's just who she is.
Her, yeah.
So she's a person who doesn't really think, she just does. Whatever makes her feel happy, whatever she's guided towards that. As a kid, something happened to me as an adult and I stopped being that. And that's where I got lost in the just being a mother and a wife. I got lost in that. And that's why I scream at young people, young girls now, if you don't learn how to rest and reconnect, it's so hard to restart again. Those are like the two things. And we as Black women don't tell each other enough to do that. I think now is the conversation. Since COVID and self-care is everything, we still as Black women have the hardest time doing that for ourselves, giving ourselves permission to rest. And I know you hear it. I know you hear it, because you're out there in that front line with self-care. Oh, everybody else does it but us.
Yeah, it is hard to give yourself permission. It really is. And telling people it's okay, actually, you really should, it's still difficult. I wanted to go back just a second, because when you were talking about, manifesting as a kid and you lost it for a little bit, what do you feel got you back to in adulthood to being able to manifest? First recognizing, oh my gosh, I've lost it some. But what got you, to get back in there to be like, okay, this is how I used to do it as a kid, how did you make that connection that I did it then, I can do it now, basically?
So of course, that conversation with my son was what sparked me to make changes, small changes. I would definitely say COVID. When COVID hit and I lost my job, and a job I didn't like, COVID was kind of one of the best things that happened for me. It was a traumatic time. We had a lot of experienced death in the family, and not that part, but just having to sit down for me was exactly what I needed. So I found all my old journals going back almost 30 years. And I pulled them out, I put them in order, and I started reading them.
Whoa.
And a friend of mine said, girl, why you throw those in the trash? I was like, no. She was like,
What?
why would you want to read that? And I was like, but why
wouldn't
I? So one day, it took me probably 3 or 4 days to get through all these journals and just reconnecting with who I used to be.
Yes.
And that was so important to me. And then I started asking people who knew me either as a kid and I ran into or connected with on Facebook. My mom used to date this guy, and we were just so sure that they were going to get married, and then they didn't. He ended up giving me away at my wedding, and I hadn't talked to him. Like after my wedding, he married somebody else and then had a whole new family, and just that was it. And we connected on Facebook, and I just remember asking him, tell me about me. Tell me what you remember about me as a kid, and tell it to me in a way, because I know it's a weird question to ask people, because they're like, well, it's you. Don't you know you? But tell it to me like I don't know me.
Yeah, from your perspective.
Because I need to reconnect, and I need to know who she was.
Wow.
What was she like? What was I like? Tell me the crazy things I did and said, and the memories. And so that has been helpful for me to get back to reconnecting with myself. Again, I have these conversations with my cousin, the cousin that I told as a kid what I was going to drink. We have these conversations all the time. Every time we get on the phone, we have these conversations. And I think, and that dream thing comes up all the time. This is what you remember as a kid, how crazy that was. I'd even forgotten about that till she brought that up. And I was like, I was on some manifestation.
Hilarious.
Yeah. So, but I think like my son, that when he said that really propelled me to say, I'm more than these titles that I hold.
Yeah.
I'm more than that. And so I'm going to get out here and chase those things that make me happy.
Right.
Whatever they are, I'm going to go chase those things. And so I started doing that. I just started saying, you know what? I would wake up and say, okay, does this feel good to do? Okay, this feels good to do. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. And somebody might say, but just because it feels good to you might not be right. Well, if my spirit is telling me it feels good and it's a great thing, then I'm rolling with it. I'm rolling with it.
And I think we get so caught up in, like you said, waiting for somebody to give us permission. And say, it's okay for you to feel good. Well, you don't know how I feel. Like, this feels good to me. To me. So I don't need your validation about something that feels good for me and to me. So I love that you just, you go with what feels good. And I have another friend who used to always say that, do what feels good. And I think I come from a background where I'm always waited for the permission to do so. You know what I'm saying? To do anything, to feel anything, and really having to detach from all of that. And then, like you've done, just figure out who I am and rebuild, that person that you used to be, that carefree kid who was just doing what feels good. I'm gonna whoop my cat because he's playing in the water. Stop. My cat likes to play and he wants attention. He wants to sit in my lap, but he won't come. But he's over here looking at his reflection and then putting his paw like he smacks the water. Like he keeps coming back to do it. Sorry, because I kept trying to pick him up and he keeps coming back to do it. But yeah, you're helping me so much because we did have a conversation right before we got started. And maybe you can touch on this a little bit more too. Or maybe we already have, but I was just telling you that I've been so frustrated lately because I have been trying to manifest some things because I'm in like this rut, financial rut. So really been doing a lot of abundance and prosperity stuff. And I've been asking for specific things and little trickles here and there are happening. But like the big thing that I need to happen is not here yet. But I did get a big thing that happened. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't what I asked for. And again, that goes to, I think it points to, it didn't come in the way you expected, but it was abundance and it is abundance. It's prosperity. It's all of that.
And we're looking for it in one specific way. We always think, I think I was doing, and we may have done this before, that 21-day detox abundance.
You and I did that. Yes, we did that several years ago. We did.
And I went to go do it again this year.
We should do that again.
When you want to start it, let me know because I'm game. I need it again.
You should see her eyes, you guys. She's all about manifestation techniques.
Like I'm here for it again because
it was a Deepak Chopra, wasn't it? Like a Deepak Chopra or something like that?
Yeah, it was 21 days of abundance.
Yes,
it was those daily activities, and the meditation that you have to listen to. But it changed my life about money. But here's the thing that I have learned, especially when I thought I had shared that when we
did share with that, but I just forgot. I'm like, I got to remember that.
When we did that, and let me know because again, I have those questions and the activities.
Let's do it.
It just really changed me about money, and it's funny. Over the weekend, we were doing something. So Anthony, my husband, he's just now kind of sometimes getting on this whole manifestation thing quietly. He's not always sure about it, but I always tell him his language. I was like, watch your language. Because when you say I'm broke, or I don't have, I never use those terms. Because then that's the place you come from. Then you won't have. You're operating from a negative, from a deficit already. So Absolutely. It's always about the language, I don't, he said something like, well, I don't have money for that. And I was like, what?
Because that ain't language that you speak.
I don't speak. I was like, I don't. And I just don't have money for that. I have to wait till I get paid for that. And I was like, really? I was like, no, not me. I never think about it. I said, I'm trusting that when I get there, that I'm going to have what I need to get what I need.
Absolutely.
That's it. And I said, and so my language is never, I have to wait till I get paid, or I have to wait till I said, that's never my language.
Yeah.
My language is, it's going to be $9.99 when I get there. Like those airline tickets.
What the price is going to be. She done changed the price.
When I flew to Texas that time, I told my sister-in-law, I said, have you ever done a mystery flight? She's like, girl, no, I'm scared of those mystery flights. I said, well, first of all, I don't have to be anywhere. So time frame is not of importance because it said, get a one-way ticket for $150, but you would fly between this time and this time. So I said, I got 150 and I'm open from this time to this time. I'm going for the mystery flight. And she's like, girl, you crazy. One way. Like I didn't buy just a one way. Again, I got to get back home because I do have a job, but I didn't even think about that.
Right.
I didn't think about that. I said, I'm going for the mystery one. The mystery one was like, turned out to be like $110. And I flew pretty early in the day.
Wow.
Same way with my sister. When we went to Minneapolis, she said, well, how much can you afford a ticket? I said, I don't want to pay no more than $100. And she was like, what? She's like, okay. She comes back. She's like, there's a $99 ticket. I'm like, cool. But we waited late to book it. And I ended up spending $109, I think. I was like, okay, well, that's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
I was still within the range. And it was so reasonable because remember, I said to her, I only got $100 for a round trip ticket to Minneapolis. Who does that? Where do you do that? I don't know. But we ended up, she was like, cool, we're going to drive to Chicago, fly to Chicago, and there's your $100 round trip ticket. I don't have no money to stay nowhere when we get there. So what we doing? She's like, not a problem. Boom, boom, boom. We got somewhere to stay. We didn't have to buy food. It was just, everything worked out. It was like we had access to a car. I mean, everything. I literally spent $100 just to go to fly somewhere. But I just said, this is all I have to spend on this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just sit back and wait for it to show up.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
It's worth
that's how I just manifested this trip. Because I have a friend who called me, like I said, even in the midst of this financial rut and trying to finish school and doing this business thing, like I've just been like, what is happening? And then my friend calls and says, we're going on this amazing trip for 7 days and we're all taken care of. And the reason I brought it up is I was also thinking, like, and I love that you said it in there already, be grateful for where you are now. And you saying, this is all I can do. And it's like, God said, that's fine. And I'm going to take care of the rest. Your food, How do you feel? Because I'm just like, but I don't have everything that I need. You know, I should have this amount. I'm used to going somewhere and I have this in my pocket. Y'all should see her face. She's like, that doesn't even resonate with her is my thing. Like, I know when I say it to her that she's just like, here's what you always say. That ain't your business. That's what she always tells me. That ain't your business.
But
that is not your business.
Because you already have everything you need. You already have it. You already have everything that you need. You do. You already have it.
That's insane. Well, I mean, it's not. I believe it. I love, and I just love.
But it's a hard pill to swallow sometimes because I'm not there, and that's why I have this wonderful neighbor who gives it to me, and she gives it to me in such a way. Oh, like you couldn't even air half. You couldn't even air what she says because it has to be bleeped out so much. But you already have it. Like it's you literally already have it. I don't think about anything else. I don't get oh me used to. I just know my needs are going to be taken care of.
Yeah.
They're just going to be taken care of. They just are. They just are. Like, I was sitting here going, they just are. Like, it's like, duh, like somebody just gonna take care of my needs. I mean, because how many times have you been in a place to be able to bless somebody?
Absolutely.
And then, so you don't even know what that person was thinking prior to you receiving a word that says, go do these things for somebody. And you're like,
yeah,
what? You want me to go? Okay, I'll go bless this person and do this thing. And then that person could have been manifesting that very thing, you know, without a care of how it was going to happen. Lord, somebody going to bless me with the blah, blah, blah. And then there you walk up and say, do you need this? Do you want this? And they're like, oh my gosh, I've been manifesting that. Yeah. And you're part of the whatever, that I needed to get it, you know. Yeah. I can't even think of the words right now, but
you were just part of the way. You were
you were part of the way.
That connection,
the process. Yeah, absolutely.
I love
absolutely.
That. Well, what kind of resources can you share with us? What got you? What did you use to get to be a master manifestor? Are there websites or YouTubes that you look at that really have helped change your mindset on manifestation?
So one that sticks out, and I always tell people, it's a little quirky, is Abraham Hicks.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can't remember who introduced me to Abraham Hicks, and I thought this is weird. Like I couldn't figure out who Abraham was.
Right, I remember that.
Who are these people? I was like, it's a little scary. But I kept listening, and I would listen at night, and I still do at night. I listen while I'm sleeping. So my son always goes, "You don't know what you're listening to." And Abraham better told you to do something crazy in the middle of the night. You up here, you don't know what you're listening to. But so Abraham is a big one. Abraham Hicks is a big one that I listen to, and I listen to it. I really started to pay attention a little bit more to what they're saying, because I want to make sure that the information I'm taking in, still aligns with who I am.
Absolutely.
And what my belief system is. And so I take what's for me and I leave the rest. But for the most part, a lot of what he says makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's ever out of the way. It's not encouraging me not to be a believer in Jesus Christ, because then that would kind of conflict with who I am. But because I do believe in Jesus. So I do pay attention to make sure I'm not being told something that goes against those principles. But it just really, like, it's on point. Like I would turn it on and be like, yes, that's me, that's me, and how I'm not, I'm vibrating so high or so low, or I'm not really present and aware of things. Oprah's another one, because I think she did an interview with them. And I was like, this is when I say weird, because if somebody comes to me and says, I get this voice that channels in, and I'll be like, yeah, that's, no, you're not. I don't know what that is.
Yes.
But so you just tell me there's like a spirit that enters your body, and you just talking, the spirit's talking through you, and you kind of zonk out and it takes over. That sounds really weird to me. But who am I to judge this person who I just take in the information and it makes sense. So I do, Abraham Hicks is one. And then, like I said, I'm a big, Oprah is all about manifestation. I think I saw a YouTube article, interview, and she said she didn't even do vision boards anymore. I was like, what? She's like, I know how to manifest where I don't even have to do a vision board for it. I'm like, that's some real manifestation there. Like, I want to be on that level where you don't even have to tap it. You don't have to do it visually anymore. Like you literally can just
feel it.
And I guess, you can. And I guess that's what I do when I do with the airline tickets. But I always write that stuff down. So I would love to get to a place where I'm just not even doing that. I'm just really
thinking, feeling, attracting.
Think, feel, and attract. What? Yeah. You got it. Think, feel, and attract. I like that. Think, feel, and attract.
That's amazing.
And I know Abraham has like a formula that they talk about, step 1, 2, 3, and 4, I think, or maybe 5 steps. And I try to commit to memory what those are. But then I was like, well, that's not really me. That's, it'll come to me I'll receive it the way I'm supposed to receive it when I'm supposed to receive it. So
that's good.
So I quit trying to memorize what their formula was and just take in the information.
Yeah. And like you said, just, I think I heard somebody say the other day, chew the meat and spit out the bones.
Take
what you
exactly.
need. Exactly. Take what you need and then leave the rest. Like everything, all of it's not going to be for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it.
But I think that whole feeling, that whole attracting, the happiness of it all. But I remember, what was it that came out? Was that whole law of attraction? It was a whole book.
The Secret?
The Secret. Because I know I have it around here. And I remember my aunt was having a secret party.
Really?
The book had been released, and her husband was not happy.
I was not happy when it came on Oprah. I was like, my friend called me. I was like, this is not Jesus. This is not God. I was going off. She was so excited about it. And I came in with my Jesus talk, like slapped it on out the way.
Can't do that. You can't do it. And her husband was not very happy. I don't even think he stayed in the house when we had the party. When she had the party, it was the secret party, and we watched the video and all this and had the book. But I just think for me, what works for me, it works for me. Manifesting works for me. Thinking about those things that I want to do, visualizing it, acting as if it's already happened, and then coming from a place of being grateful already and satisfied. Again, because my neighbor,
satisfied.
My neighbor says that all the time. You won't have any of these things that you ask for because you're not even coming from a place of satisfaction. How do you get more when you're not even satisfied with the little bit that you claim to have? And it's so much more. You just don't realize it. And recently, place of satisfaction. I had a job that I loved it. It was nothing wrong with that job. I worked from home. Nobody bothered me. I did my job, collected my paycheck. It was a perfect setup. Because if I wanted to go in the office, I could. If I wanted to stay home and run to Aldi's during the day or go to the gym, like nobody was checking for me. And I got my work done. And I was happy with that job. And a lady reached out while I was on my trip in Minneapolis and said, I don't know if you remember me meeting you, blah, 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 blah. And I got a promotion and my job is open. Would you like to interview for it? And I was like, I had secretly wished that one day I was to a point where somebody would seek me out for a job where I didn't have to necessarily apply, but somebody was like, we want you. And so I'm on a trip. I'm like, I'm on a trip, And I said, well, first of all, Tionda, get your whole stuff together. Somebody called you. Don't you remember saying you want this? And interviewing for the job. And so when it came to the salary, I've just learned how to negotiate salaries for myself. I usually take what people would give me in the past, and I've been learning how to ask for more. So we get to this part where it's about the salary, and the salary is more than what I'm making. So I'm saying to myself, well, I should just be grateful, come from a place of being satisfied, and take what they're giving me. But I also know my worth. And I said to her, is this salary negotiable? And this is a Black woman to another Black woman. So I'm thinking a sister girl is going to say, yes, girl, yes, we need to be empowering each other to ask for more and know what salaries look like for us. So we know how to ask for more. My neighbor says we should be transparent in that area as Black women. But she says to me, well, I fought hard to get you that. And I was like, I'm worth more than that. So I'm going to ask for it. And I would write down in my journal every day during that interview process, this is the amount of money I want to make. This is the amount of money I want to make. I wrote it, did that whole 369 journaling. This is what I want to make. They come back and he says, give her more. Okay, people out there, if you can see me, I just fell out my chair. I fainted. Yes, he says, give her more. Now, mind you, the salaries at one point, she didn't talk him into raising the salary. That's what they offer me. I walk in and say, well, I'm going to give you a number. Here's where I think I should be. He looks at it and says, no problem, and add that to it.
What?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, people out there, you can't see my face. What I'm doing.
You can't see mine. But I'm going to tell you what now, huh?
that's what I was like, what? He's give it to her and give her this. Yes, plus.
Yes, plus. I love that.
And I had been writing it every day from the moment she called and said she wanted to schedule that interview. I started writing down what my requirements were, what I needed. I need this. This is what I want. This is what I want. The salary I want. The salary I want. Because I'm coming from a place of happy.
Absolutely.
I got freedom to get up and do my job the way I want to do it. Don't nobody bother me. My paycheck I'm not making a whole lot, but it's afforded me to be able to do what I do. I can take a plane ride somewhere. I can buy myself something. You know, I'm still budgeting and whatnot. But when he came back and said, let me change your life, basically.
Ain't that it?
Let me change your life. Okay, here it is. Give it to her and add that into it too.
You said like, add that into it. She just fucked her hand to that and throw that in there too. Throw that on there.
Is that all she's asking for?
Tell her she can have that too.
Tell her she can have that too. She should have.
Girl, that is like divine God. Like, girl,
right.
This is what you asked for, and I'm gonna give you more.
Manifesting, because that's what I kept. And on top of that, I've shared this with you. My ultimate dream job has been, I want to do HR for an airline. HR for an airline. I just want to fly for free because I love to travel. Now, I don't work for an airline, but I work in the airline industry.
She worked? Yes.
I work in the airline industry.
When she told me about this, I was like, oh my God, you are almost there. She's like, yes, I am. Yes, I am. I told you this is what I wanted to do. Like, she's one step before that.
Yeah, this has been the one thing I've written about, journaled about, manifested on. HR on an airline. HR on an airline.
And she is.
That's how I want to retire. I want to retire that way. And I was like, okay. And someone sought me out. And that had been one of the things I had been thinking about and manifesting on, because my sister-in-law is good. She's like, I've never applied for a job a day in my life. Somebody has always came and sought me out.
I can say that's true for myself. I can say that's true for me.
Really? I wasn't that person. I was like,
the last two jobs that I've gotten, somebody has called me and said the Y and at the Urban League, it was two people who sought me out because of the work I had done in the past. That's a good feeling. It really is.
That is. I had never experienced that. And so to get a call and somebody say, I want you.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? This is different. Like, I don't even know this.
Yeah. It's like, I'm leaving. I want to know my stuff is left in good hands. And remember we talked? You want this. That's amazing. Yeah. And then her to say, I fought for you on this part. And you're like, girl, no, you didn't. You didn't fight hard enough. So give her that and add that to it.
Right. And my thought thinking in all of that was, I wonder if where she was coming from for her own self-worth. I hope that then sparked a conversation that wherever she went, that they gave her more.
Absolutely.
That she was compensated if they hadn't, or I'm hoping that maybe it was a lesson for her that maybe she's being paid, awesome money and she didn't realize that when you get it, you got to get it for your sisters too. We really have to be in this together. Like it's going to take when Black women have that conversation.
Self-worth. I'm worth more. That's what you said. But I know that I am worth more. So I'm about to ask for more.
Because she even tried to determine, she was like, but I fought for you to get this.
Okay, go find some more.
And I'm like thinking to myself, but my manifesting journal says this. That's what it says. This is what it
3
says.
and 6 and 9 times.
Right. For several days. When you called me for the interview, I wrote that down that day. I was like, okay, this is what it needs to look like. This is what it needs to look like. I was very specific. This is what it needs to look like. Now, did I get everything? No, but for the most part, 90, almost 100%. Other than the fact that I don't get to work from home every single day, but there is a way for me to work from home if I need to. That's it. That's it. And I was thinking to myself, like, I don't care what you're thinking. I know what I wrote. I know what I wrote down.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the amount of money I wrote down.
And I love that. I love that piece right there. And that is being an advocate for yourself, especially when you know and you have done the work. You like, I didn't ask for that. I know, and that's alignment. That's staying in alignment.
There you go.
That's staying in alignment. That's not letting anybody deter you from, no, I asked for this. I know that I can have it. So you said you worked hard for that piece. Go back and work a little bit harder because this is what I asked for.
Yeah. And
when you stay in alignment, and he said, give her that and plus.
More, and plus. And
that's, y'all, if this ain't a whole lesson, I'm really listening and taking notes and paying attention, like for real. Because I know I am. I call her all the time, like, Tionda. We talked a couple weeks ago. I'm like, help me understand this because I'm not getting this part right here. Like, I don't know this part. There are parts of, this spiritual walk where I do great, but this piece right here, and I know it has a lot to do with mindset, which is one thing is one reason I really, really wanted to talk to you about. The reason I wanted to have you here is because like her mindset, I'm telling y'all, you're not here to tell her, like the lady said alignment. That lady told her, I already did this. Okay, well, my journal says this. So, I mean, what you gonna do?
Thank you, move out the way.
You know what I'm saying?
You're in the middle of my manifestation.
Girl, really?
You're messing it up. My vortex is all off fooling with you. Me and my son joke a lot about it. He says, are you aligning? Are you in the vortex? Are you manifesting? And I'm like, all the above. All the above. I am vibrating so high right now. Okay, well, now I need to bring it down because God is like, wait a minute, you didn't let me do what I need to do and quit. You in the way. Trust and believe that it's going to be taken care of. And I really do operate from that place that I believe it's going to happen. I say it. I say it and believe it and operate like it's going to happen. That's just it. I don't think about anything else. And sometimes that's crazy. Sometimes that's crazy. And it's gotten me in a place where, okay, I've made some wrong turns doing some things. Okay, you need to tighten that up. I have, but no, I'm going to chase what makes me feel good every single time. And I don't think that fails me.
I don't think it does either. So.
I don't think it
no. I think when people do the opposite, and as you're saying that, I'm thinking about myself. No, it does not fail you. But for people who are not operating from that place, and I'm speaking for myself definitely, of what is bringing me joy versus I'm so nervous about I don't have this, I don't know when it's coming, and nothing can happen there. Yeah, nothing can happen there. And like you said, I don't think about anything else. I just don't think about anything else. Whereas you got me, who is always thinking about the need. Like you said, and just being annoying. Like I said, I know my ancestors be like, if this girl gets done, if she can make this altar one more time today, if she asks us one more time, like we're out to lunch. We out to lunch. And we know. Like, girl, stop. And don't answer. Archangel Michael, don't answer her. Do not answer her. She's back again. Don't say nothing to her again. No. I already know that's what's happening. And so, it's just really good to talk to somebody who can give some insight for people who maybe didn't know about manifestation or are trying to do some things and just really needed some tips on just from regular folk. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't Gabby Bernstein or whatever her name is, the super attractor cards, we're not those people. You know what I'm saying? We are just regular folks, regular Black chicks who are trying to live our best life. And I'm telling you what, this lady right here, I be watching her. I be ready to fight her. I look at my phone in the morning when I ding. I be like, Tionda, that's a damn
You know
window seat that you done got again. Like,
and my dad he's really good on always telling me to have a seat. He worries more. Like, you doing too much, and I go, no, I'm not doing enough.
I'm not doing enough.
Yes. I'm like, no, I don't think he doesn't get into all this. But he is quick to tell me to sit down. I'm like, no. When low battery. Did it cut you off? Oh.
No, I'm here.
Can you hear me? Okay, I'm great.
Just took your picture down.
Oh yeah, the battery is going low. Hold on. So yeah, can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You're fine.
Yeah, he's not a big proponent of all this, but I am out here living my best life. I don't think I've ever been more happier.
I love it.
Me.
Mm-hmm.
With me, with who I'm becoming. And there's so much more to come. I can't wait to manifest every single day.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to do it, to write down for tomorrow and not even be disappointed if I don't get everything. Okay, then I'll just keep asking until I know that it's a definite no, or I just keep asking. I don't know that's a definite no.
Well, I love the gems that you've shared with us so far, just with how you start your day. She starts it off with journaling and writing and setting the intention for how she wants her day to go. Then she chunks it down if she needs to. If she has a meeting or needs a specific thing to happen throughout her day, she pulls those pieces out and says, okay, for this meeting, this is how I want the meeting to go. This is how I'll be received when I walk into the room. This is going to be my mindset. Maybe she has something to do later on in the day. Then it's, okay, for that, I really need my mind to be right here. So let me begin to write those things down. I just think it's a really, really beautiful process. I'm so excited to be able to witness everything that has happened for you, the way it has happened for you. And I'm telling you, it's astounding sometimes to just, like, I sit here with my mouth open, like, this lady is like really, really doing the damn thing with this manifestation, which is why I was so excited about talking to you about it. So
I keep my mouth open too. So because
God, it keeps you in awe. It really does.
I'm living it, and I'm in awe. I'm in awe.
Yeah. And folks, I really want people to understand too, that before we go, I want to say this. Tionda is a Christian. I was raised Christian. And so this is not a religion thing. This is not about that. This is not a religion thing at all. Actually, as I was researching some things, I looked up, as I was researching, I went down, I can't even remember exactly how I ended up where I ended up. But after I was meditating, I got a couple downloads, and I was thinking about, several different things, and I was led to the 7, I believe it was, just a second, I'm going to get my notes out. It was the 7 spirits of God. That's what it was. And manifestation of knowledge was one of those 7 spirits of God. And so if you have the opportunity, you guys, go back and look at the 7 spirits of God, which are it's in the Bible, but I think he talks about them in Revelations. I think they're discussed in Revelations. But the manifestation of knowledge basically is a breakdown of when you know better, you do better. It's you taking in this knowledge and getting this divine knowledge and having the understanding that, like you said, you already have it. You already have it. And when you know better, Tionda is sharing with us that once she knew better, she did better. And now she has, she's living her best life. And we ain't out here asking for yet. I ain't gonna say I ain't asking for, but do you see how her manifestations have literally just gone from a yellow car. And I believe that was one of the things that you told me to start with when I was like, what am I doing wrong? You were like, just start for something basic, because when you ask for the big thing, you start off asking for those big things and you don't get it, you're going to be disappointed. So all I did was ask for a yellow car. Maybe you asked for an orange car. Maybe you want to see a yellow, a rabbit run down the street. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's little things. Start off with the little things to manifest. And so I am excited that we were able to share this knowledge with you today. If you've been wondering, here's your manifestation of knowledge right here. Okay. But thank you so much, Tionda, for sharing with us. I really, really appreciate you just sharing your stories and your experiences with us. But before we go, is there anything that you would like to leave folks with when it comes to manifestation or living their best life through manifestation and alignment?
No, I would say start with the vision board. If you just don't know where to begin, start with the vision board. And I am going to have the Get Your Life vision board, virtual vision board party. And so I have been playing around with dates, because then I get in my head and go, well, the year is already started, and that's okay. So it because we can always get our life at any point. It didn't have to be just January 1st.
Nope.
So I'm thinking sometime in March for that. I will definitely, I have a Facebook page called Press Pause. So you're welcome to follow me on Press Pause on Facebook and on TikTok. So I'm trying to get my social media game up. I'm on it personally, but I'm not on it in the way that I should be.
Yeah.
So I'm learning to get better with that, but feel free to follow me. I would love for you to join me in that virtual vision board party. I just think that that's the best place to start if you're just unsure. Just finding images that represent where you want to take your life, even if you cannot see a path to it.
That's good.
If you put a house on there, a car, $1 million, don't think about how you're getting there. Just think about what that feeling is for you. Oh, I had a new house, I would feel great because I need a place to live, or I'm looking for this, or I need a car to get me around, or a new job, or the certification, or I want to travel. I'm not thinking about how I'm going to pay for it or what the path looks like. That's just what I want. And that's it. That's all that it requires, for you to have an imagination, be willing to dream, and not care about how it's going to happen. And you put those images on that board, and you just post that board up, and you just walk past it, and you don't have to stare at it all day, but enough for you to just keep looking at it and taking it all in. And your spirit it's already recording it for you. So you'll tend to forget that you put something on the board, or wrote something down, and it'll show up, and you'll be like, what? Like, oh, I forgot I asked for that. I forgot I said I wanted that. And it's like, see, look, God was listening.
I love it. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And I love you so much. Thank you folks for listening today. I hope these nuggets from my friend Tionda were helpful in your manifestation techniques. Stay tuned. You can, like she said, you can follow her on Facebook, Press Pause, or you can follow her on TikTok, Press Pause as well. Stay tuned for her her vision board workshop that is going to be virtual, and it will be in sometime in March. So stay tuned for the podcast, and stay tuned. I'll make sure that I send that out on my podcast as well, on my Instagram and things like that on my platforms. But again, we're grateful that you were here. Thank you for listening. We love you so much, and we'll see you next time. And I can't wait to hear all of your manifestation stories that you have to share with us. Take care and have an amazing, amazing Sunday. Have a good one. Bye.
Thank you. Love you.